Beginning in January 2017, temperatures in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Peru began rising to drastic levels. As the ocean heated up to 7 degrees Celsius above average in an extremely unusual circumstance of coastal El Niño, the warm ocean waters began evaporating rapidly, accumulating moisture in the sky. By March, all of Peru was consumed by heavy rainfall, 10 times more than usual. Those affected by this rain were areas with low elevation and little vegetation. The result of this precipitation on the dry soil in these areas was severe mudslides and flash floods. By April 2017, Peru had faced irreparable damages with more than 43 inches of rain reported in some areas.
While the whole country of Peru experienced heavy rain, it was mainly the northern part that was devastated by floods and mudslides. Heavy rainfall continued for almost 6 months, with flooding for almost a month. The flooding was caused by unusual weather patterns. The rise in ocean temperatures around Peru has been occurring sporadically for the past decade, allowing for heavy rainfall and flooding to occur across the country. The precipitation is directly linked to extremely warm water off the coast of Peru, which scientists in Peru have tied to a rare coastal El Niño event. While El Niño is a naturally occurring phenomenon, scientists suspect that its effects and frequency are being amplified by global warming. As the temperatures of the ocean are slowly increasing, it allows El Niño to cause the moisture buildup that leads to heavy rains more easily. These downpours correlate with a global trend of increased precipitation, a trend strongly tied to climate change. The effects of climate change are also somewhat responsible for causing extreme weather changes in Peru. A month before the flooding began, there was a drought that caused wildfires to spread through parts of Peru. There is also evidence that global warming may have aided in the extreme rainfall to intensify. Climate change could play a role in floods and drought in the same region, dividing climate conditions and escalating weather whiplash.
The Peru floods caused a multitude of tragedies for Peru and its people. This catastrophic natural disaster resulted in 164 deaths, brought over 70,000 people to homelessness, caused over 800 towns and cities to declare a state of emergency, destroyed 100 bridges, and damaged 115,000 homes. In the streets, water went up to people's knees or higher. There was no transit or electricity. The floods mostly impacted communities that were already in states of poverty, taking away their access to housing and running water. These communities experienced limited access to water for days at a time, as most of the water was contaminated, and water treatment facilities were destroyed. Huge shortages of food and water and the destruction of crops caused an inflation of at least 5% nationwide.
Usually these storms can be predicted. However, this particular storm arose from local conditions. It appeared more suddenly and did not allow time for preparations. Most of Peru was used to too little rain rather than an abundant amount, so they were lacking in basic flood defenses. The levees broke during the rainfall, which led to flooding. Once the flooding began, Peru declared a state of emergency and started calling in the police and armed forces to help restore order. As housing was destroyed, people were forced to leave their homes and look for emergency housing or make makeshift homes in drier areas. They would climb onto their roofs until water levels went down and they were able to use makeshift boats to relocate. Rescuers used ropes, zip lines, and pulleys to help survivors escape the rushing waters.
The estimated cost to rebuild Peru is about $9 billion. The Peruvian government planned a 3-year program to rebuild devastated infrastructure, provide homes for low, middle-income families, and build new infrastructure that would serve as a better protection against future floods. The armed forces and other rescuers also focused their efforts on finding temporary housing, searching for drinkable water, and using their technology to predict the upcoming rain. The health ministry also focused on fumigating the water and eliminating mosquitoes and other pests that would lead to spread of disease. As the frequency of flooding has risen, the Peruvian government is working towards building better bridges and highways and cities with better drainage systems.